Now, going over to the culture part of the podcast, you have Bud Light Christmas tweet gets a measly 67 likes, which is almost unfathomably bad. Not to brag, but a couple months ago, I did get a video with 73 likes, I think, probably. And if you can click that like button right now, I'd really appreciate it. I mean, statistically speaking, it won't get more likes than Bud Light. However, a wise pilot once told me, never tell me the odds. So, you never know. Excuse me. And in terms of the data, again, we're not taking these numbers like 2 minutes after they posted this on X, or as fewer people are calling it on Twitter. I waited a couple days to gather these data points. So this data points were taken within, let me see my notes here. This was taken within 48 hours after they posted. So literally a couple days. So presumably everyone who, I was about to say who enjoys Bud Light, more accurately, people who follow them on X have had time to see it. And there's a little, let's see here. They literally said, wow, not much. They even do a picture. All right. Nevertheless, Bud Light tweeted or posted, quote, unwrapping our first beer for a full day of football, unquote. That got 13,200 views and 67 likes, which is almost statistically bad and probably bad. Like, that's really rough. And again, I can't help but think of a sadder Christmas day than, again, opening up a present and seeing you got Bud Light. I mean, again, I joked. I said maybe perhaps it'd be a good white elephant gift, or instead of giving someone coal, again, if they're over age 21, you could give them a case of Bud Light. I mean, you'd have to be pretty bad during the whole year to get someone a case of Bud Light for Christmas. I mean, especially because you have all those coupons and rebates where it's quite literally cheaper to buy Bud Light than water in many cases. I can't think of a bigger middle finger to a relative or someone who's been naughty all year long than giving them a case of Bud Light. I mean, well, I can't even think, unless they're an alcoholic, I can't think or fathom what they would do if they were to get a case of Bud Light. I mean, if I were presumably so bad throughout the whole year that someone actually gave me a case of Bud Light for Christmas, I'd probably be so offended. I actually would have to take some mental inventory and do some self-thought, be like, oh dear God, what do I need to do to improve myself and my actions throughout the year to ensure this does not happen again? Now, thankfully, I wasn't that bad. I didn't actually get any Bud Light for Christmas, thankfully. But if I did, I mean, what would I do if I got it? I mean, obviously you're not going to drink it. I have more than 18 taste buds left in my tongue. I guess it does. I guess there's always a little remedial value in the aluminum bottles or the aluminum cans. But what would I do if I were to win a case of Bud Light? It's like it's a fascinating question. I thought, well, perhaps there are some people and farmers who historically use scarecrows to protect their crops and scare away all the pests that would actually eat the corn, all of those types of things. So, in theory, I suppose you could take a case of Bud Light and put it on your porch. And presumably, no one would ever steal your Amazon packages or anything like that, because they'd probably be so scared of, oh dear God, what kind of person is inside this building? What would they do to me if they caught me stealing? Where would they put those bottles if they caught me? I couldn't fathom what would happen. And the downside is you'd also probably scare out all of your family and friends. They would no longer visit you. They'd go to your house to see, oh, well, what's on Johnny's porch? A case of Bud Light? You know what? Let's tell Johnny we had a dental appointment pop up. Well, we'll come back another time. Something's going down. Something's going down in that house we don't want anything a part of. So perhaps that is the 14th legitimate thing we thought of on the show of what would we do if we won a case or got a case of Bud Light for Christmas? But nevertheless, go to the comments section. Let's see, maybe I'm off. Maybe all the comments are overwhelmingly happy that they got Bud Light for Christmas, or that Bud Light is insinuating that unwrapping a case of Bud Light would be a good thing. Let's dive into the comments and find out. Well, the first one comes from Tom Ferry, and he says, quote, a reminder that if you drink Bud Light, you support them sponsoring trannies and mocking the customer base. Boycott still on, unquote, and in all caps for that last part. That got 24 likes, which is thus far the most popular one. Tamis says, quote, hilarious, yas. Grammar be damned, I will read it exactly as this person wrote. Again, quote, hilarious, Yaz reported to sports and athletes of masculinity to try to restore your brand. Ha 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 ha. Oh, what a world, unquote. I got 15 likes. And yes, it is somewhat hilariously ironic that used to have the former marketing VP, Alyssa Heiderchild, who should be written down in business books for decades, perhaps even centuries, for destroying a brand. They went from having, I mean, traditionally they were fratty, masculine, sports balls, music events. They were all always there, pride events. And then they had the campaign with Dylan Mulvaney, who made $185,000 off 2 pictures and a video, I think, which I can't fathom making so much for doing so little. But nevertheless, now they're going back to that. I'm not too surprised. That statement got 15 likes. I don't believe it. There appears to be a positive statement. Now we'll look at the profile to see if this is a real person or perhaps it's the VP or someone at Bud Light. But nevertheless, someone by the name of Sigma Bartholomew says, quote, nothing feels better than cracking open a can of Bud Light today, unquote. I'm not saying this person needs to hug, but that got 6 likes? Let's look at this profile. Again, it's just so sad. Like, if that's a highlight of a Christmas is opening up a can of Bud Light, I'm picturing a sad single man in a sad single man apartment with like a can of beans, not warmed up, mind you, on Christmas morning, just opening up the can. Perhaps maybe a pet goldfish accompanying him. I mean, I can't fathom anyone being happy doing that. So again, going to Sigmund Bartholomew's profile, let's see. This person says in their profile description, edits sometimes, rogue urchin, not a troll. Block equals my only child. What? This person joined in 2010, so it's not a new profile. Didn't just jump up overnight. And they do have 791 followers. Not to brag or anything, but I do have 230 followers on my personal LinkedIn at hashtag NICTOPPING. Though I would always argue quality over quantity, obviously, it's the best way to go. And scrolling through his profile, let's see what other posts he has. A lot of reposting of random stuff. Commercials popping up on his timeline, which I thought commercials go away if you paid for premium. Nevertheless, it looks like he's not shilling for every Budweiser or Bud Light for the free stuff. So, an original, real person. I'm pretty shocked. Sigma Bartholomew actually gave me accolades to Bud Light. Although, in disclaimer, he may just be a very sad alcoholic. Again, I can't fathom that being a highlight of the day. I mean, of all the things to do on Christmas Day, I mean, I can't fathom that. I'd almost compare it to like if you're a child opening up a gift and saying you got socks. But even socks are a durable or moderately durable product they use again and again, and there's some value there. And ironically, the older you get, the more you actually appreciate those types of things. But nevertheless, with the Bud Light, that's never a good thing. It's like you grow into it. If anything, you grow out of it. Now let's go see what other comments we have. Scott Baby TM simply says hashtag stand with Riley Gaines. It's a picture of Riley Gaines. I got 1 like. Bluegrass Barbie B-word says, quote, love the Peyton Manning commercial. He orders 2 Bud Lights, then realizes they're almost free, gets a whole round for the bar, unquote, getting 1 like. Tony Bucinio says, quote, how did you turn Peyton gay, unquote, and that got 7 likes. James said, quote, lost all respect for Peyton Manning. He will do anything for a buck, unquote. They got 5 likes. Now, Chris Keggy says, quote, a Christmas tradition like no other. Bud Light on Christmas Day and football. He didn't get any likes. Can't help but wonder. Let me look at his profile. Chris Kegley. Which, again, is that a tradition I don't know about? That somehow eluded me all those years? Having a Bud Light on Christmas Day. Like, if you're going to have any alcohol to inebriate yourselves, I would assume it'd be something more like what was it? I mean, more like the eggnog. That's kind of cliche. I mean, anecdotally speaking, I know my parents would make Nantucket Sleigh Ride. What else? There's a couple alcohol-based gin drinks from Cuba that they'll make. But, yeah, is that something you look forward to? Is it just me? But nevertheless, let's look at this Mr. Chris Kegley's profile. Joined 2021, has 82 followers. Let's see here. And does a lot of shout outs to movies and TV shows, or, talking about Shark Week. So I guess it looks like a real profile. I'll be damned. 2 original responses thus far. Someone by the name of Da Bad As simply replied with a GIF, or as youth might say, a GIF, where you have the Team America GIF, where you have the main, I was going to say not actor, the puppet of the show, throwing up. That got 3 likes. Trayvon Williams says, quote, "Do not support this sick S word. They don't give a damn about American values or your children," unquote. That got 6 likes. Although, in terms of, the disclaimer they put on Twitter for more context or whatever, you could debate, they very much care about your children, but perhaps not in the appropriate way. A little disclaimer there. They technically care. No, I would say not in a way that is appropriate. Let's just say that much. Let's see. Dave Hayes replied saying, quote, "Must have paid Peyton Manning a metric F ton," unquote, getting 6 likes. And yeah, I can't. They paid Dylan Mulvaney $185,000. And this campaign's probably $400,000, $500,000 plus, because this is multiple print ads or pictures as well as full video where you have Peyton, the Manning brother. He's actually in the bar throwing Bud Light cans around, which, again, if you were to do, that would shake it up to the point where if you open it, it would explode. But nevertheless, it's not real. It's just a commercial. Let's see. Going back to the comments. Estimated P says, quote, "I will never buy another Bud Light," unquote, getting 4 likes. Let's see. Trayvon Williams, again, replies, "Sick people in this company, boycott until they apologize." And he actually included a picture of Dylan Mulvaney in the Audrey Hepburn-style hair. What do you call this? The elbow-length gloves, which I don't even know where you buy those, as well as the dress and the little necklaces. And, of course, Dylan Mulvaney holding the can of Bud Light. That got 6 likes. And that's not tired of winning, says, quote, "Hashtag Bud Light puts estrogen into their piss water," unquote. I'm not sure if that's a real fact. Probably not. And they replied with a meme as well, saying, "Never underestimate what a case of Bud Light can do." It looks like a Photoshop of what some people are trending as Mike Obama and then Michelle Obama with the side-by-side. They got 7 likes on X. Then we have a big disclaimer that says, "Show additional replies, including those that may contain offensive content. Do we dare?" Of course. Let's click that button. Which actually, in terms of Twitter and X improvement, if my profile says, if you click it once, there should be a way. Maybe there is. Dive in later. If you just click it once, it should be, by default, show me all that. Give me all the data. Let's see. Sinbad the Sailor says, quote, "If I'm in a party and all they have is Bud Light, I would contemplate drinking water from the toilet, or at least the garden hose like we used to. I always wondered why the cans weren't blue. It's progressive beer," unquote. They got 2 likes. It looks like they included a GIF of spraying a hose so a dog can drink it. They got 2 likes. It wasn't too bombastic or anything. I don't know. I'm not really sure why that was censored, or pseudo-censored, or you had to click that extra button. So it'd be interesting to see, in terms of the Christmas Eve, I'm sure all Bud Light wanted for Christmas was to redeem their sales. They did not get that for Christmas. And I don't think they will next year, but who knows? Maybe it will. Statistically, the odds are against them, but who knows? Maybe. Probably not. But we'll see. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, we're trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of December, so if you click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving a like also helps the video with the algorithm, and the feedback with the comments is greatly appreciated. Lets me know how I can make the show better and better. Also, lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.